In this video, we will discuss about how the normal immune response works against the tumor cells and how the accelerated immune response, that is the immune response in which the immune system is artificially been accelerated to detect the tumor cells and act against them. So what are the difference between this normal immune response and accelerated immune response, we will cover in brief in this video. So these cells that are marked in the red color are the tumor cells, and all the other cells are the part of the immune system. So this is the main immune system, that is main cells that is directly interacting with the tumor cells are these NK cells or natural killer cells. So this how this natural killer cell works, how they reach to a point when they can detect the tumor cells and trigger apoptosis or kill them. So it all starts with this dendritic cells. The dendritic cells will be able to detect. Dendritic cells are the professional antigen presenting cells. When the dendritic cells or mature dendritic cells detects any foreign antigen present on the cells, it provides those antigen information to the other immune systems. And one of the immune system is this, and one of the immune cells is NK cells. Other immune cells are T cells, and T cells will generate antibodies against the tumor cells. However, this process of generating T cells, antibodies generated by T cells, is a time taking process. It will take time. And this the other way these dendritic cells try to act against those foreign antigen is via these NK cells or natural killer T cells. So it will provide information to these natural killer T cells about the antigens, foreign antigens that are found within the host. And this NK cells will then detect this foreign antigens or start surveillance and check the normal cells against those antigens that are presented by the dendritic cells. And this checking is done by these receptors that are present on these NK cells, and these is the example shown here. So when the NK cells able to detect this tumor antigen, then it can act against them. However, this tumor cells also has some weapon by which they can deactivate these NK cells, and this weapons is done by this MHC or major histocompatibility complex 1 that is also found on the tumor cells. And some of this is also in common terms, this is known as checkpoint inhibitor therapy, or these some of these checkpoints receptors are been discussed in our previous videos. You can check those videos. So what this does is the tumor cells will try to interact this inhibitory receptors that are present on the NK cells and try to suppress this NK cell response. So one of the therapy that works or is to cap this inhibitory receptor with some other receptors, so that these MHC1 that are found on the tumor cells will not be able to interact with these inhibitory receptors. So this is one of the approach, and this kind of detection by NK cells is known as recognition. Another kind of detection is via this direct cytotoxicity that we have discussed, how these immune cells will trigger apoptosis within the tumor cells. And there are two kinds of ways. Let us quickly revise through this. One of the ways is triggering apoptosis through extrinsic pathway, and this is known as extrinsic pathway, that is shown here, when the receptors on the NK cells interact with the receptors on the tumor cells, and that will trigger apoptosis. Another way to trigger apoptosis is through this granzyme or cytokines in general terms that are released by NK cells. These cytokines will go inside the tumor cells, and they will upregulate the apoptotic pathways by upregulating the genes in the nucleus, by upregulating the transcription of the genes in the nucleus. So now this is the direct cytotoxicity process. And simultaneously what this dendritic cells does is the dendritic cells also provide these antigens, foreign antigens, to these T cells, so that T cells will start to generate antibodies against those specific antigen. So this is how the normal system functioning, and what are the ways by which the immune system can be accelerated. One of the ways by which immune system can be accelerated is to directly provide this antigen information to these immune cells such as NK cells and T cells. So instead of so they can save the time by which the NT cells detect this tumor antigen, and then provide this tumor antigen to the immune cells. And most of the cases on the tumor is that these tumor cells are being shielded by the surrounding environment, surrounding cells, and in commonly known as tumor microenvironment. So it is difficult for the immune system to detect those antigens, to detect those foreign antigens on the cells. And also this tumor microenvironment prevent this immune cells, NK cells, to detect those tumor antigens. So in those areas, the antigen detection on the tumors is difficult, especially in the case of solid tumor. So that is one of the reason by which immune efficiency goes down, normal immune efficiency goes down. So and in order to overcome this, the antigen receptors that are found on the tumor microenvironment, one of the antigen receptors that are found on the tumor microenvironment is recently been the topic of research, or topic of the research is the aberrant glycosylation that has found on the tumor microenvironment. So that can be used as the receptors by the specific tumor receptors by these NK cells or other immune cells, and they can target those aberrant glycosylation pathways to trigger apoptosis on those cells or on those tumor microenvironment. So this is just a brief comparison between the normal immune response and the accelerated immune response. So if you need to understand more about this immune response against the disease or tumor cells, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.